Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on over to another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. I'm your host, Matt Tardio. Iran and Israel. It is going down, and I'm pretty sure the United States is going to be thrown down as well. We're going to talk about all that and more. Now, this morning I told you guys when General Kurilla, the CENTCOM commander, winds up inside of Israel, there is always going to be some amazing news that comes out after that. I know I said that this morning, and we're going to talk about what that amazing news is today. New statements just dropped coming out of Israeli media threatening a very large-scale attack against Iran. And they said it's going to be coming very soon, which kind of makes sense because one of you knuckleheads dropped something in the comment section today that I don't think you should have been dropping in the comment section. I'm just throwing it out there. You know, maybe if some of your family members are going to go do some bad things to bad people and you happen to hear about it through the grapevine, don't put it in the comments. All right. We do have some somber news to actually bring up before we get into some of the other serious stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before it takes place. The 3 U.S. service members that died in Lithuania have officially been identified. The U.S. Army has released their identities. They're the 1st Brigade Combat Team, 3rd Infantry Division, when their 88 ended up crashing into a freaking swamp and they drowned. The 4th service member is missing. The names are Sergeant Jose Dunez Jr., Sergeant Edwin Franco, and Private First Class Dante Titano. I hope I didn't pronounce his name wrong. I really hope I got that right. But there's one of the service members right there. Other one. And lastly, the 4th one hasn't been identified yet, and likely because he is still missing. I did hear a rumor earlier today that they might have found his body, but they're waiting on some confirmation. I'm just not sure. There's nothing weird about this. It is a routine training accident. U.S. service members end up dying in them all the time. It's not weird. It's just tragic, and it's sad. Flacco coming in and gifting out 10 Speak the Truth memberships. Great to appreciate you, brother. And always last in line coming in and gifting out 5 more. Now, on a, I guess, making a brighter note, this ended up coming out from U.S. military today. The gentleman's name is Staff Sergeant Brian Black. Staff Sergeant Black. Those of you that don't know, he got killed several years ago in a battle against ISIS over in Africa. It was made famous because his helmet cam footage ended up getting leaked. Well, information came out today. It looks like his Bronze Star medal that he was awarded is going to get upgraded to a Silver Star for his actions in battle. Sergeant First Class Jeremiah Johnson's helmet cam video ended up showing additional portions of Black's actions. And truthfully, if I didn't know one of them dudes, I would kind of put it up there. There's a lot of people that say that, you shouldn't play those videos or you shouldn't see them. I completely and totally disagree. Because I think people, if you guys don't believe me, you can go look it up. Was it the Tonga ambush? Go look it up. It's pretty freaking wild what ended up happening. And I heard some of the backside of that investigation, and it's pretty frustrating. But those men 100% ended up dying heroes, 1,000%. So good on him. I'm happy that his medal is getting upgraded. All right, told you guys, Kurilla was over inside Israel today, and now that he's over inside Israel, he is expected to not only go meet up with members of Israeli Defense Department and several other people, but we'd end up hearing some bigger news. He's also expected, by the way, before I get into that, to go meet up with some of the THAAD batteries that are deployed across Israel and have been since last year in order to better defend it from Iranian threats of ballistic missiles and the Houthi threats of ballistic missiles. Now, after his visit, after he actually got there, I have no idea what was discussed, but it would seem that whatever he talked about might have struck a fire under some Israelis' butts. Now, I say that for a very good reason. I say that because not too long ago, I ended up coming across it right before I was doing some little additional research, but Israeli news, Channel 14, said that a large-scale attack on Iran will soon begin, an attack unprecedented since World War II.
איומיו של דונלד טראמפ לא מותירים מקום לספק. אנחנו גם רואים את אימוני חיל האוויר, ובסופו של דבר, מערכת הביטחון של ישראל, שרק מחכה לפקודה, צאו להתקפה על איראן. אם לא יקרה דבר דרמטי, תקיפה רחבת היקף של ארצות הברית לבדה באיראן.
I personally don't understand Hebrew, and that's okay. But what I will tell you, Dylan Dunker coming in and gifting out 5. is with the amount of hardware that's going in over there, it's pretty flipping insane. There's other hardware, I believe, to be in the area that hasn't been announced. And believe it or not, even if it's not in the area, let's be real. United States has the firepower to literally deploy fixed wing assets around the globe that could take off from the United States of America and strike anywhere on the planet Earth if they absolutely want to. So we're going to be going in there and crushing Iran. Now, rumor is it's going to be within, I don't know, next 72 to 96 hours, but basically by the weekend. By the weekend, this thing's going to pop off. Brandon Cook coming in and giving out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. They're going to get crushed when it happens. There is so much dang firepower in that area, it's going to turn it into glass. That's not what they're going after. The rumor is 100% that they're going to be going after all of the nuclear facilities. And why would they want to do that? Well, it's pretty nuts. I was reading over, ISW just dropped a brand new report not that long ago. I didn't see it until tonight. And as I was reading through it, I came across some really interesting information on it. According to it, where'd it go? What's his name? Senior Supreme Leader Advisor Ali Larijani warned on March 31st that any attack on Iran by the United States or Israel would force Tehran to develop nuclear weapons for defense. Now, it is rumored that last month he went over to Russia and was basically begging them for. And it's weird because we talked about this morning and we're like, I don't think Russia would be dumb enough to do that. But that he had gone over to Russia in order to acquire nuclear material, or maybe not nuclear fission, but like nuclear weapon parts and things of that nature, in order so he can die for his very own cause, right? Like I don't want to die for his cause, but he wants to. So that was the rumor. That's what he was going over there to do. And ISW, I believe it was, that I was reading that on, ended up listening to that in a report. So it is possible. I know we talked about it being a possibility. Didn't think that Russia would be dumb enough to do that, but ISW ended up just throwing that out there today. It's kind of odd because we looked at it as like one of the smaller possibilities of something that could be done in order for them to get that. But in the event that they do have those, ladies and gentlemen, that's a whole new problem. And that is likely why Israel is coming out and stating that this sucker is going to be a freaking like unprecedented since like WW2. Right? Rob's going to be wet in his freaking crotch, like back home watching this stuff as it goes down because he hasn't seen it. I'm going to throw this out there too. This just came out of Diego Garcia. All right. Now we have confirmed 6 B-2 bombers down the runway. But you see these little clamshells up here? You guys see them clamshells sit up there? The first images we were getting out of Diego Garcia did not have 6 of the B-2s lined up, but now there is. And originally I thought it was because they wanted to keep the bulk of them undercover and out of the way. And then I just had a thought. What if we had some other aircraft down there that possibly we wouldn't want the satellite imagery to see? And so we ended up moving those B-2s out of the freaking hangars, out of the clamshells, these white buildings right here, and moving in the really cool shit. You know, the shit that's actually going to matter. I see lesser logic says Raiders. I see somebody saying 21s. Now that would be pretty sweet if those were down there, wouldn't they? Because that's a brand new stealth bomber. Somebody says B-2 Spirits. Man, I'm not even worried about the Spirits down there, bro. I'm not even worried about the Spirits at all. Look at all those people saying B-21s. Now, for those of you guys that are unfamiliar with the B-21, we're going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to get this sucker up for you real quick. I'm not even sure when I was looking at this one. I don't even care. Now, its payload capacity isn't all that amazing. You can go and you could read a couple other things about this bomber. It's got a decent payload capacity. It's not huge, all right, but it does have some cool shit. That's it right there. That's brand new. I don't even know if that sucker's been used in service yet. There's rumors that it's been used against ISIS and a couple other things, right? But yeah, F-22s, you know they're going out to eat. By the way, the Abraham Lincoln that I reported on, everybody was like, no, you're wrong. I went back and double-checked my source. Yep, looks like the Abraham Lincoln just left port not that long ago, and it is en route. Wonder where it's going. Throwing that back out there. We are moving more strategic assets into that area than we have in a very, very long period of time. And that's just what's above water that we know of, that we can think of, that is not hiding underneath the clamshells that we know. Is there actually combat-ready B-21s yet? And I was reading up on them earlier. Like I said, it was rumored that some of them have been used in several strikes. And yeah, I've seen them flying. If the damn thing can fly and it's got pilots, yeah, they're freaking combat ready. the payload capacity on most of these aircraft should scare the shit out of a lot of people. And what these aircraft can do. I mean, screw the B-21, right? Like, that's just going to get around a bunch of aerial defense and everything else. Yeah, the B-21's not combat ready. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that. Truthfully, we don't even need it. It would be cool to take that sucker and watch it. I mean, you're not going to watch it in action, but it would be cool. What other opportunity are you going to have to try that aircraft out against assets of our enemies? Now, I wasn't joking when I said that Iran, it's being now reported that Iran was going up into Russia to attempt to acquire nuclear weapons materials. And the Supreme Leader of Iran, or was it the defense minister? One of those crazy bastards. I forget who it is. Whatever. One of the crazy Iranians, top official, ended up saying that the West wouldn't be doing things like this if they had nuclear weapons. Now, that would be like a cute statement had we not known that they're only a couple days away from actually having one. Our own intelligence reports and everything else, we had multiple officials testify at Congress the other day that that's what's going down. So we could care less if they are pretending they don't have them or they do. The IAEA report says that they were enriching uranium, or alleges, or at least leads you to believe, at 2 sites that weren't reported. So they're in violation of the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty. The United States today put new sanctions on Iran. Surprise, surprise. Well, not Iran itself, but on different entities and organizations over inside of Iran. Put brand new sanctions on them. Why? To deter them from continuing to fight alongside the Houthis and supply the Houthis with everything. And they need it. Last week, I told you guys that there was a rumor of more THAADs being deployed within the CENTCOM AOR. Now it would appear that 2 more batteries have arrived in the CENTCOM area of responsibility. Incog Faraday coming in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Thank you, sir. This morning, we had talked about the massive buildup of all the different military equipment, hardware, aircraft carriers, bombers, B-2s, B-1s, rumored B-52s that I can't find yet. I think I actually said this morning, rumored B-52s, not that it matters. Possibly the 21s. Multiple THAAD systems over the last week that I'm aware of that are going back over there. Gorilla, as a matter of fact, is scheduled, allegedly, to go and speak with the THAAD batteries over inside of Israel. Those are very important systems, ladies and gentlemen. Iran blasting drones off at Diego Garcia isn't going to stop anything. It's not going to slow it down. We have officially moved way too many assets in the area for them to do a damn thing about it. Now, back here at home, possibly. Like I talked about this morning over in the Sinai Peninsula, that's a big deal. That might get us a little bit freaking bogged down, but Israel can hold their own. They've done it before when they were a hell of a lot smaller. Austin Wilcox. We are supposed to have them at our base in Abilene, Texas at Dyess Air Force Base. Was the contract winner? I'm just saying, I haven't seen them. Yeah. Well, there's not that many of them, right? That I'm aware of. There is plenty of pictures of them flying, plenty of videos of them flying in and around the area. And when we really get into it and the assets that are stacked up over there, man, it's freaking mind-numbing. It really is. You know, when I take a look at this entire area, oh God, here's Sky God coming in, dropping 20 Speak the Truth memberships. Thanks, brother. When I go and looking at all the assets in the area, there's really not that much that the enemies of the United States of America and Israel and the coalition that's over there can do about it. Really isn't. They can, Iran can go out and they can threaten a lot of other people. But this is one of those moments where people realize how bad they screwed up. Years ago, underneath the Obama administration, we had a bunch of sailors get taken hostage, EPW, captive by the Iranians. And Obama sat there and he played little diplomatic games. That's how we got here today. They went off in international waters, ripped our sailors off boats under a freaking administration that was pushing DEI policies, making our freaking Navy, our Marine Corps, our freaking Army, the Air Force, everybody weak as hell. Now we have a defense secretary out there doing PT and whooping. We got a vice president out at the range firing M240 Bravos. freaking brand new freaking weapons, just getting it, eating with the Marines. I told you guys when Pete Hegseth was over at 110 in Germany and he was working out with the guys that he did that for a reason, because good leaders, if they're going to demand perfection from their troops, or they're going to demand the best from them, they better be putting out themselves. And he did it. He got down, it hurt, and it was on his face. And everybody laughed and said, what do you think about that picture of good old freaking Secretary of Defense over there, sucking wind and everything else? I had to explain to you guys that that's respect, right? Like from that culture, at least he's there willing to get busted down and continue to get his butt hurt. That's why that guy was laughing. That's freaking cool. Who does that? In our government anyways, no one. Ham Slicer, hope Trump lets the generals run the operation, not the politicians. Well, yeah, typically that's what he does. He might put like a guideline here or there to make sure it stays aligned. But other than that, yeah, it's get the job done. Aussie Mick gifting out a Speak the Truth membership. Appreciate you, Aussie. Good to have you guys in the house. Always fun to have the brothers from down under in there. So yeah, got all those strike carrier groups moving in. We have massive amounts of bombers being built up down in Diego Garcia. We've got new THAAD batteries that are deploying across the way. Israel says it's just basically no time at all here. We're going to end up having a massive attack on Iran, unlike seen since World War II. And don't let me forget about the A-10 Warthogs for mopping up the mess. All of those are moving to the area. All of them. And then some that are underwater. You better believe it. Today, yesterday, if you're over in the Middle East or Israel or wherever the hell it is you're at overseas, if you're on tomorrow for us here in the United States, today here. So if it's April 2nd for you, but if it's April 1st for you, it would have been today. But either way, about 24 hours ago-ish. No, not 24. 14, 15 hours ago. An airstrike got launched in Beirut. Took out a senior Hezbollah terrorist. And it is rumored that another officer from the IRGC was there with him. So the IRGC is back inside of Lebanon planning attacks. Now, what were they planning on attacking? A commercial airliner, allegedly, over inside of Cyprus. Why does that matter for you guys? Let's bring this in. Why are we talking about this with everything going on? Obviously, the IRGC, right, working with Hezbollah, that's been attacking and threatening Israel for a year. Pretty bad day. Member for 16 months, KD87. Getting wild, Matt. When was the last time historically you think things were this tense with so much countries and so much at stake? You know, man, that's a good question. It really is. Probably about 2001 to 2003, I think would be the last time. But even then, right now, we're not on the receiving end. Shit was really tense last year. This is that time that you as an American should sit back and kind of giggle for a minute. Like, this is one of those times that if you're over inside of Israel or if you are inside of the EU, this is one of those times for you to sit back and crack a beer and just wait. It is insane the amount of scunnion that we put over there. They're about to find out why the U.S. military industrial complex has such a vast contribution of our GDP that goes into it. Like, you as a taxpayer dollar, or you that pay your taxes, get ready for fireworks. Everybody loves the 4th of July. Nobody sits back and thinks why we shoot fireworks on the 4th of July. It's because of times like these. Well, it's actually not because of times like these. It's because of a long time ago, right? When there was a big war. Now everybody looks at fireworks like, oh my God, they're cute. Look at that. Whoa. Get ready for all of those whoa moments. It's about to be the 4th of freaking April, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to go off. Austin Wilcox, we do hours. See the B1 fleet here. Yeah. Scuba Greg says, sorry about the call this morning. I won't call from mountain passes anymore. Scuba Greg, you've called me from underneath the ocean. You let a mountain pass whoop you, buddy. I don't know how you got that one. Brondo Black wants to remind everybody, hold my Quran. That's a very famous statement that we definitely need to be putting on some truth merch. It's been a while. So back to the airstrike over inside of Lebanon. What ended up happening over inside of Beirut. So senior Hezbollah commander and rumored to be a member of the IRGC, like senior level IRGC butthead, ended up getting schwacked. Why? because they were planning an attack over on a civilian airliner over inside of Cyprus. And allegedly Hamas was somehow loosely involved in this. I think they're like that one retard at this point that you just, yeah, here you go. You guys want to play? Okay. Like you guys are about to be wiped off the planet, but go for it. That happened. Blip on the radar with everything else as far as I'm concerned. It's another drop in the bucket, man. Almost a drop in the ocean for these guys. So yeah, IRGC, a little bit upset. It's gotten to the point now, I kid you not, that it got reported today that Hamas said, and I quote, "We are ready to release all of the hostages on the condition that the war ends. The crossings are opened and the strip is rebuilt. We reject Netanyahu and Trump's conditions regarding our disarmament and the expulsion of senior Hamas figures from the Gaza Strip." Now, with these little freaking whiny folks over in Hamas that are complaining about that, you got to ask yourself, why? Why is Hamas whining about that? Why are they just now ready to release every single hostage? Yeah, I'm relaxed tonight. You're dang right I'm looking relaxed tonight. You know why I'm looking relaxed tonight? Because this is amazing news. Amazing. DEFCON 3. It's not even a DEFCON, bro. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I've gotten little things wrong here or there over the last year. I might have misspoke. I might have forgot to turn on my mic from time to time. I might have muted a video or two for a while there. I'm telling you right now, Iran's going to be hurting. They will retaliate. People are going to die. It is very possible, and God forbid it. I'm never happy when people end up losing their lives. Well, I take that back. I am a little bit biased when it comes against radical Islam. It's not because I hate them as human beings. It's because there's no changing their ways. Everybody always wants to yell at Israel and whine and complain for what's about to go down in Gaza. And I say, what is about to go down? People that thought Gaza Strip was about wrecked before, wait. I told you guys, wait for this crap with Iran because it's coming. Wait. Got a couple hours to go. Literally. Under 100. You might as well say 99 or less. You're in the double digits in hours as far as I'm concerned for Iran to get freaking wiped off the planet. You're about to see some massive bombs dropped and a hell of a lot of them. It's going to be insane, and I look forward to being here. Now, other day, I ended up telling you guys about the Gaza Strip. I ended up telling you that those clan clashes that were taking place inside of Gaza, excuse me, not the clan clashes, that those uprisings, I didn't think there was as many of them that were being reported, but I did find them to be credible. So those clan clashes, yeah, I'm going to find those to be credible. And your next sign that they are, and if the IDF is screwing up, is going to be whether or not we end up having people getting killed inside Gaza. When we start seeing that infighting, that's going to tell us that that's taking place, right? That infighting inside Gaza, those clashes between the clans, Hamas going out and killing these protest leaders and all of these different people, that is actually happening. And all of those freaking people that want to claim conspiracy theories are going to go away. It's allegedly a Hamas police ID card. That's what's just up there. That was found in the possession of Ibrahim Sheldon, who members the Abu Samarah clan, who was executed. It's a brutal video of this guy getting freaking blasted. And I say brutal, it's what really is a sign of weapons maintenance. If you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I can do though is I could probably show the beginning of it. Shows the man getting executed. There's also several more videos going around Gaza. Let me get it here. Let me get this up on your screen.
حرقوا بعض حرق الحوانين كل واحد ماخذ له مدرسة يمكن هنا 3 مدارس 4 مدارس جنب بعض رسمي حرقوا بعض حريق.
Okay. A little bit of AK fire going on, right? Not a whole lot of gunfire, a little bit of AK fire going back and forth. Why, oh, why is all of that taking place? Well, I'm going to tell you. IDF hasn't started their major push yet, so who's doing the fighting? Nuke 1266 says, Matt, I read that as Iran threatens nukes with a D. Oh, Iran threatens nudes? That would be hilarious if Iran threatened nudes. Then we would surrender. Andreas Northam said, I think I saw an open source confirmed deaths from clan fighting Abu Samara clan. Oh, Andreas, dude, it's like you and me. We're on the same brainwave here. I didn't see the clan, but I'm seeing the firefight videos coming out. So that's good to know what clan it is. This infighting that's taking place over inside of Gaza Strip between the different clans is that power struggle I talked about. This is those people rising up, and this is people struggling to see who's going to be a part of it next. That's what you're hearing. Hamas coming out and stating that they're ready to turn over all of the hostages, but they're willing to not surrender, is also a sign they lost power. So what this is and what you're hearing in this video is, believe it or not, the sound of freedom. This right here, this video, sound of freedom. This is people getting ready to take control of their lives. And while it's brutal as it is, as it's gunfighting, it's people killing people, it's all of those things. That's what this is. Now, the odd part is the people in the streets and how little concern they have for it. Because, you know, if that guy took his camera and like flipped it on and was sitting there for a while, that shit was taking place. These people are going to be fighting back and forth amongst each other until the IDF gets in there and starts taking control. They are going to have legitimate leaders that are going to be in charge by the time the IDF gets into those cities. Yeah, clash of the clans. When that happens, in Rafah, in Khan Yunis, Deir al-Balah, all of these different places, when the IDF gets there, they're going to have those key leaders already in place. People wanted to sit here and argue and whine and complain. Ladies and gentlemen, it is straight out of your counterinsurgency manual. That's all that's taking place right now. So these folks, knowing that Hamas is on its way down, right, are going to be fighting. You're going to have Hamas going after them and trying to kill them before the IDF gets there. And you're going to have them fighting amongst each other. And you're likely to have civilians that continue to dime people out. That's what's going on. That's it. There's nothing crazy about it. There's nothing sexy about it. Well, there's a lot of sexy stuff that actually happens to make that take place, but nothing sexy about it other than that. And it is the sound of freedom. And no nudes will be coming out of Iran anytime soon. They're continuing to crack down on their people. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we have things like this that are taking place. Why we have people beating their face in front of the SecDef. Just freaking get. Does anybody want to count these push-ups with me? Anybody at all? 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Like, for the love of God. For the love of God. Lock them out, airmen. Lock them out, baby. Embarrassing yourself in front of the whole freaking world. I don't care about Canada's milk prices. Yes, this was the next one that we needed to talk about. If you guys missed the live session from this morning, this is the one we're going to be talking about. Look at you guys all counting 0. Dude, he's nervous. He's in front of the SecDef. Like, he looks like he works out. You know what I mean? Right? I mean, the guy, like, yeah. Yeah. All right. Egyptian tanks, Egyptian troops, all building up over inside of the Sinai Peninsula. That's what's taking place. They're building up massive amounts of troops. At the same time, Israel is claiming that they're in violation of the peace agreement. And Israel's calling out the United States saying, look, Egypt is out of control in the Sinai Peninsula, and if they do this crap, you're supposed to be the one helping out with it. Right. Maybe this is what the A-10s are for. I don't know, but it would be pretty cool. I have no idea, but it would be pretty cool if this is what the A-10s are for. Highly doubt it. It would be cool, though. Come on. Do you tell me you wouldn't want to see a video of A-10s doing strafing runs on this place? It'd be like a wet dream, man. Like not a bomber, not anything else. Just coming in, just cutting those freaking things up, man. That'd be freaking baller. Even though Egypt's our friend, right? Egypt would never be our friend, but maybe that's what the A-10s are for. They can move in the area. Hell, I don't know. Scott, Kyle, coming in, gifting out, what was it? 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Appreciate you guys. Really, really do. Gave a brief history lesson this morning when I talked about this, so I'm going to do it again. In the past, Egypt was allowed to have so many troops up over near the border of Gaza and so many over in the Sinai Peninsula in order to combat ISIS, right? Tom Bones says, notice how those are American-made M60 patented tanks? No, I did not notice that. I am not a tank aficionado, but I appreciate you for pointing that out. If it's in fact true, I'll take it from you, Tom. You seem to always know, like you're a pretty intelligent gentleman. So they were allowed to have specific amounts of troops and everything over there. And to this day, you can go find, here's Cairo, by the way, that's Egypt. This is Israel. This is the border with Gaza. Now, during the War of 67, all right, this little strip of land here used to belong to Egypt. This place, it's now today, everybody knows is the Gaza Strip. It used to belong to Egypt. After that war, they lost it. Eventually, Israel tried to give it back. They didn't take it. They didn't. Egypt didn't want it back. Didn't want it back for several reasons. Now, when Israel went to Rafah, happened right down here in this area, if I remember right on the other side of the Rafah crossing. You got a picture, there's Egyptian troops and checkpoints and everything else. And, maybe if we even zoom in on the area, you might even be able to spot a couple of them. I don't know. I've never tried. I don't really care. But Egypt is responsible for security on this side of the Rafah border crossing. They are. When Israel went to Rafah last year, they came through a tunnel and they coordinated with the Egyptian military and they popped out on the other side. An Israeli service member got wounded. The Egyptian soldier that was dumb enough to shoot at them ended up getting killed. They were warned that Israel was doing that. They talked to them. They move. Israel has to clear those tunnels, look for Hamas, and then collapse them because Egypt failed to do their job. And I wouldn't even say they failed to do their job. They refused to do their job. Texas Bully Mom, after this pops off with Iran, is the next progression to have American troops going in with boots on the ground. You think it's a possibility? I don't, Texas Mom. I don't see that. There's no necessity, as far as I'm concerned, for U.S. troops to be able to get on the ground over inside of Iran. Zero. We can accomplish everything we need from the sky. That's why our Air Force has so much flipping money invested in it. It's insane. The things that we can do with frickin' bombers is insane. And putting boots on the ground inside of Iran isn't going to change a damn thing. Unless you want to get into like a 30-year prolonged occupation of Iran, which I don't think you do. But what we need to do is knock that out. Now, if you don't think on the backside of this as well, by the way, you guys want to hear the wildest part? Who's got $5 that wants to make a gentleman's bet? Anybody? Anybody? Who's got $5 that wants to make a gentleman's bet? I got $5 for a gentleman's bet. Who wants it? $5 for a gentleman's bet. Justin Winch came in. Justin Winch, you remind me. If you want to party, we can party. Maybe we'll put a pool together on this. I don't know. No, that's illegal. That's gambling, I think, over here. So we're not gambling on the Speak the Truth channel. I'm sorry. We're not doing it. We can't gamble on the Speak the Truth channel. But all you got to say is bet, because it's like kid language and it's hilarious these days, right? 2 things. Following this bombing over inside of Iran, there's going to be a massive civil unrest. Massive. You're going to see people coming out in droves. They're going to be pissed off at the Iranian government. They're going to try to shut off the internet. They're going to try to do all sorts of crap. But the next step beyond bombing them, ma'am, and this is why I say you don't need to put boots on the ground, and this is why we're working in conjunction with Israel. It was not a coincidence that during that first bombing campaign that Israel ran, that there was also violent uprisings that were taking place against local law enforcement agencies over inside of Iran. Back in 2007, I think I talked about this once or twice. Back in about 2007, I want to say it was, we got notes out of the Bush administration, because it's all like Presidential Record Keeping Act or whatever. There was notes that came across the president's desk. And one of the notes was that agents from Israeli intelligence had pretended to be members of the CIA. And all this, I believe, was taking place in either the UK or the Germany. UK or Germany, not the Germany, UK or Germany. So we had Israeli Mossad agents up over in the EU pretending to be US CIA agents. And they were attempting to recruit little terrorist organizations over inside of Iran. That took place almost 20 years ago. That means that we've developed a pretty extensive network, Israel has. And in conjunction with the United States, liberate Pineland. Viva la Pineland, baby. That happened. Now, with that being said, we've seen that happen twice over inside of Iran. When all of this weird shit's happening and we're bombing and crap like that's going on, you end up having these little terror organizations that are going after them. And I want to remind you guys that not that long ago, over inside of this country called Lebanon, there was also pagers. You guys remember those pagers that detonated all across Lebanon? A couple days later, we had those radios going off. All those ICOMs started blasting, right? You guys remember that? Told you I'd have two gentlemen's bets. Here's gentlemen's bet number 2. Because what these guys do, what these intel agencies, what they do is they'll go out and they'll do things like that and they'll collect information. And sometimes this information just sits for years. Now, those pagers and those ICOMs, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that we didn't know where they were at all points of time. We always knew where those little suckers were at. The intelligence agencies as a whole knew where those pagers were at. And you know that because it's not like Hezbollah had to freaking leave your pager inside of the tunnel warning if you're going to travel to another country. We ended up having members of the IRGC that got oh no, it was the Iranian foreign minister. Sure, member of the IRGC, whatever. They had a pager blow in his face. It literally beeped. He looked at it, blew in his face. Sky God Mattis secured an ad for Motorola beepers for you to run live. Unrelated. It's April 1st. Now, with all of that movement back and forth between Lebanon and Iran, and this is just the fun part. This is Matt just having a good freaking time. All of the little things that I've been able to acquire over the last year of reporting on the silly conflict. And we have more firepower in the Middle East than we've had in a really long time. And I mean a really long time. Now, we know those pagers had GPS and things like that, or at least some freaking sort of geo-tracking on them, because none of those suckers detonated anywhere else. Not a single one, not a single pager, not a single radio, nada, nothing, nowhere. No reports on it whatsoever. Not one. And I talked about this last year. I talked about it when Israel was supposed to go back in and bomb Iran. And I said, you wait and you watch. There's going to be some senior officials from Iran that get knocked the hell off the planet. Why? The Iranian foreign minister. I can't believe I get to talk about the pager incident again. Pagergate, baby. Can't believe I get to talk about it. It'll get confirmed over Signal in a couple days, guys. Don't worry about it. The Kraken says, hold my beeper, rookie. Yeah. What do you think the freaking odds are that one of those pagers made their way over into the hiding ground of the supreme leader, Ayatollah, whoever? Senior IRGC officials, bunkers, shit like that. Wherever they got turned on, wherever they got turned off, they're going to have all that information. Those places over the last year, I bet you $1 million, gentlemen's bet. So let's call it a Speak the Truth membership. I don't know, $1 giveaway. How much you want to freaking bet that those places are about to get the shit bombed out of them too? I bring this up because we are looking at changing the dynamic inside of the Middle East because of the extensive amount of damage that Iran has done. And we've been saying this. If Israel wants peace within its own borders, they got to knock out Hamas. They got to knock out Hezbollah. They got to take care of all the little jihadists over in the West Bank. They got to secure this little area over inside of Damascus. And over the last 20 to 30 years, we've been just allowing these little jihadists to run wild. We really have. We've done our best politically to deal with it. But the time for politics is over. They're literally everywhere. Everywhere. That Medal of Honor recipient, the Silver Star, Staff Sergeant Black, that was all the way down here in Nigeria against ISIS. I was fighting those bastards all the way over here in Afghanistan. Right? Dude, these dudes are everywhere. We had attacks set up all the way back over here in the United States, inside of Oklahoma. What the hell? So, with that being said, it's time for a change. And Iran is the one that is behind all of this crap. And they're going to get taken out. And I bet you, because the power struggle's in place. When the United States and Israel were talking about bombing the shit out of Iran last year, remember all of those people that came out and said, listen, this isn't the Iranian regime. Or this is the Iranian regime. This is not the people of Iran. They were pinning it on the Iranian regime. And there's people now that have made their way out of Iran that have been talking back and forth, talking about all of the horrors over there inside. How freaking, you guys, wow, what was his damn name? Khamenei, the butcher of Tehran? How after he got killed, everybody was like losing it. Did John Wilson just come in big, long in the chat with 50 Speak the Truth memberships? Yes, he did. This is going to be that moment. If it was ever going to happen, if they were ever going to change their country, it is going to be when these bombs drop. And just like it said in the signal chat, there's going to be a trigger authority for it. There is going to be a trigger for the first freaking bomb that drops. All right? As soon as we get confirmation on the bulk of these Iranian officials of where they're at, dude, it's going to fly. And it is going to hit, and it is going to hit hard, and it is going to hit fast, and it is going to be relentless. I don't think this is going to be like a couple wave of attacks and it's done. I think you're talking about like 24 to 48 hours of just sustained, getting their shit pushed in. It's going down. We have that many assets in the area. They're about to get their poo-poo pushed in. Now, the scary part about all this, if there was one thing for you to be like, all right, Matt, it all sounds good. I love what you're talking about. I hope we do that. I hope it goes down. I hope it happens that way. I'm with you. The only part about this whole thing that I don't like about that stinks, and I got to bring it up here, is the Kremlin. That's the only part about this that I don't like that absolutely stinks. And just like we were talking about earlier, when we said, what are the chances that Russia would give the nuclear components to Iran and everything else? I put them in a decent level, like 50-50. Because once you give that stuff to Iran, there's no telling what those nut jobs are going to do with it. But at the same time, Putin is in such a flipping weakened state, he can't even kick Ukraine out of his own damn country after they invaded it. And then they invaded another portion of it. That's how shitty they are right now. And so I wouldn't put it past Russia to do something like that. Now, whether or not that weapon detonates over inside of Israel, over a freaking, neighboring country, or exo-atmospheric explosion that lights up the night sky all the way up to freaking Moscow where it came from, that's going to cause some serious issues. And if Russia was caught giving nukes to Iran and Iran fires that nuke, all bets are off. For Ukraine, all bets are off. For Russia, they're done. That intel got dropped today, that Iran went up there seeking those nuclear weapons. And we had U.S. freaking officials testifying before Congress that they were just a couple days out from having a nuke. That is what freaking bothers me. If there was one flipping thing that bothers me, it is that remote possibility. And if that worst case scenario happens, that is your World War III trigger. I give a shit about China down in Taiwan. We'll do diplomatic stuff. The Biden administration last year said we're not going to do anything about it. I'm pretty sure diplomatically we're doing our best to keep China in check down there around Taiwan. But this, what's about to go down, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be historic. And I swear to you, if your notifications are not on when this goes down, you are going to flipping regret it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. I'm your host, Matt Tardio. I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. The Middle East is going to be glass again in just a couple days. If you think what happened in Gaza was freaking genocide. Wait until the people come out on this one. It's going to be nasty. Until next time, peace, love, happiness.